Okay. Hello again, YouTube. It is I, Chidori Snake, and this time I'm going to basically go over Comic-Con and what we've seen, mainly from the Marvel and DC panels, namely the movie trailers and the trailers for the Netflix series and TV shows, etc. Alright, first let me start off with Marvel. Let me get that out of the way first. So I'm excited about what Marvel's got coming forth. They just announced Luke Cage and Iron Fist and showed some trailers for it. And I gotta say, Luke Cage's trailer made me nearly piss my pants of laughter. Because he basically, if you haven't seen the trailer, go see it. But basically, it's just Luke Cage beating the crap out of people with a car door as soon as he gets out of jail. And Iron Fist was what I was most excited about. Luke Cage and Iron Fist happen to be two of my favorite Marvel superheroes. Iron Fist, of course, is definitely ranked high on my list of superheroes overall. And so I was really excited to see what their interpretation of Danny Rand. I'm really excited about both shows, but the thing that I can't wait for is what those two shows are leading up to, which is the Defenders show. And basically, if you haven't been catching up with the Netflix series lately from Marvel, basically Defenders is going to combine the entire universe that started with the Daredevil show, and then Jessica Jones, and of course now Luke Cage and Iron Fist. So basically, the four protagonists of each of those shows are gonna get together, form the Defenders, and I'm assuming that basically the Defenders will basically be like the team that's doing stuff while the Avengers are figuring out what the hell is going on with them. So, I mean, heck, if the gods are gonna keep fighting, then the oddballs might as well do something in the meantime, right? So, Defenders is what I'm excited for the most out of these Netflix series. Even though Iron Fist is my favorite hero, because I just want to see all of these heroes put together. I want to see an outcome that turns up being better than DC's Legends of Tomorrow, because while I enjoy Legends of Tomorrow, let's face it, some of their story conventions are very flip-floppy. Like they'll say one thing and then completely ignore that thing that they said earlier on in the season, and next thing you know, you've got a jumbled mess of a story, and now you're trying to scramble to fix it. I don't want that to happen to Defenders, and it shouldn't happen, especially since there's no time traveling factor here like there was in Legends of Tomorrow. And so this series, if anything, should be very straightforward. And so I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, there's the Doctor Strange movie. Benedict Cumberbatch is actually looking like a really good choice for Doctor Strange. I thought that it was a good casting choice before then, and this trailer has proved me right. My only concern is how popular Doctor Strange is going to be. Is it going to rake up enough, revenue to do well in the box office? I don't know. We'll see, because Doctor Strange is indeed one of the lesser-known Marvel heroes. Unless you follow the comic books like me and a few other people, chances are you're not familiar, or unless you have, basically, if you've never read the comics, never watched any of the cartoons, or never played Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, chances are you've never heard of Doctor Strange before now. So, yeah, hopefully, but that's a good thing though, because that means that, you get to start your journey into the movie completely void of any emotional attachment with the movie. Unlike me, basically, I'm a huge fan of Marvel and DC, and I'm a huge fan of Doctor Strange. And so, of course, if this movie sucks, which I'm sure it won't, but if it does, then I'm probably gonna throw a huge rage fit over it. But no, this gives fans a good chance to get acquainted with some of the lesser known heroes. Although I will have to say it has been quite a few superhero movies that we've been getting over the past few years, and people may get tired of that. I may start getting tired of that, rather. But I don't know. After the success of Deadpool, maybe not. We'll see. I think that's all I have to talk about from the Marvel side. Now let's go to DC, the more interesting side. We already know that Marvel's got their stuff together. What I'm mainly concerned about is what DC's got coming. Now, we already know about Suicide Squad, and from what I've seen from the movie clips, it seems like Suicide Squad is going to be a pretty good movie. Basically, it's been a roller coaster ride for me the entire time Suicide Squad was in production, because when the first trailer dropped, I was super excited for it, and then Batman vs. Superman hit, and then I immediately lowered my expectations for Suicide Squad because of Batman vs. Superman and how disappointed I was in that movie. And then we have like all the movie clips that are recently coming out thanks to fresh movie trailers. And I gotta say, I have renewed my faith in Suicide Squad. My hopes are right back up again. So it's looking to be really good. From what I've seen from the movie clips, it seems like Will Smith was the perfect choice for Deadshot. I'm really liking Karen Fukuhara as Katana as well. And Margot Robbie is killing it as Harley Quinn. So I'm really excited to go see this movie. This is probably going to hopefully this will fix some of the wrong that Batman vs. Superman put into the DCEU. And it'll sort of steer it in the right direction. And that brings me to the rest of the DCEU. Now, I saw the Wonder Woman trailer and the Justice League trailer. First of all, I was surprised we got a Justice League trailer this soon. Second of all, I have to say I was super impressed by, well, not super impressed, but I was impressed by how well the Justice League trailer seems. You know, and then I was highly disappointed with the Wonder Woman trailer. Let me put it this way, I just don't know, I don't know why, but I was bored watching the Wonder Woman trailer. Like, here's a movie that I was excited for ever since it was announced, you know, because this is a legitimate Wonder Woman movie, and we haven't had, you know, a serious Wonder Woman movie ever. We've had some Wonder Woman movies, but nothing of this, you know, of this grand scale, you know. So I was excited for this, and you know, but I think I know partially why I was probably a bit let down by the trailer. It was probably my subconscious just reminding me of Batman vs. Superman and how excited I was for that with the trailers, and then, you know, I don't think it's that. Maybe it is, but I think it's just the fact that I just thought the trailer was boring. I was sitting there, I was excited because the Wonder Woman trailer finally came out. And then I actually watched the trailer, and I sat there kind of like, that's it? It was like, it wasn't like it was not enough content, that's it. Because that was definitely not a problem. I feel like they showed almost all the action scenes they had in that movie. But I don't know. I just felt empty after watching it. I didn't really feel like, you know, super excited from the trailer. I'm still going to see the movie, that's without question, but I don't know. Now that I'm feeling this, I'm just going to take it with a little bit of, you know, with a grain of salt. And as far as Justice League goes, let me tell you, everybody had doubts about Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Everybody had doubts about Ezra Miller as Flash. From what I've seen, it's not really much, but for what I've seen in the trailers, it's looking super promising, especially Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Now, he hasn't been really talking much in that trailer, but just from his facial expressions and from his actions, it seemed very like Aquaman. Like you could tell this was a slightly darker interpretation of Aquaman, and I didn't mind that at all. I like that actually. This could be the movie that stops all the terrible Aquaman jokes about how he's the worst superhero ever and really can't do much. Because frankly, Aquaman's always been cool. People just like to rip on him. And I'm sick of that because, he's Aquaman. He's cool. People need to lay off of him. But Ezra Miller as Flash, I have no problems with this guy as Flash. He did a really good job in the trailer. People are like, oh, why isn't Grant Gustin playing? Well, because Grant Gustin plays Flash in the Arrowverse, and the Arrowverse is completely different from the DCEU, but people just don't seem to understand that. And besides, Ezra Miller is really good. He's not a bad Flash right now. From what I've seen, anyway. He doesn't seem like he's going to be a bad Flash. And the costumes look pretty decent. Cyborgs looks okay. My only gripe with Cyborg is that I feel like Cyborg should be a bit more bulkier in his design. Like, it looks like a slim, like the Halloween costumes that basically look super slim, nothing like an actual superhero costume. Yeah, that's pretty much what it looked like. And so I was just like, I wish they designed him bulkier. But other than that, no gripes. I hope Zack Snyder has learned his lesson from Batman vs. Superman about not cramming too much into one movie, because that was the main problem with Batman vs. Superman. Another problem with that movie was that it was too dark. And in parts where it didn't need to be dark. Like, Batman, of course, is going to stay dark, but not every other character had to be brooding and super emotional and depressed. That's what I felt like. This movie depressed me. I didn't want to go to a depressed fest. I wanted to go to a superhero movie. And so, apparently, Snyder saw one too many Dark Knight movies. And so, that he thought, oh, hey, it worked well with the Dark Knight trilogy. Let me try it here. Didn't go over well. So I hope here he learns his lesson that not everything needs to be dark. Not everything needs to be shoved and crammed into one movie, because that's what convolutes the plot. As long as he stays focused on the main story, we're okay. You can have a side story or two, sure, why not? That's what makes movies interesting. But don't sit there and try to include 20, 30 different side stories and unnecessary cameos and think that your movie's going to be good. Because it's not. It's not going to be that good. And, of course, we get Season 3 trailer for The Flash. And, after that BS ending in Season 2 where he went back in time to stop his mother's death, even though he knew what was going to happen. So that ending just confused me altogether. But they did that so that it would give way to a Flashpoint paradox story in the Flash show. And I'm excited because Kid Flash is finally confirmed for Season 3. Thank you. And also, it's going to be interesting to see Black Racer, see how he plays out. Dr. Alchemy has been confirmed for the show. And basically, in this universe, of course, both Barry's parents are still alive. But the thing is, his friends, his usual crew, don't really know him that well. Joe doesn't really remember him that well. Iris doesn't remember him that well. Cisco doesn't know him at all. In fact, Cisco has gone big and he's become this huge millionaire techie. And so he has his own company now, Ramona Industries. And which I'm pretty sure was, supposed to be Star Labs, but maybe he bought it or something or took over. Whatever the situation with that is. So that means that negates the proton accelerator theory. Maybe. And that should also mean that Ramon is not really a metahuman anymore. At least not in this universe. Not in this, well, not universe, but set timeline. And so Um, so that's that. That's Flash season 3. I can't wait for it. I honestly think that if anything in the Arrowverse is going to be top notch, it's probably going to be the Flashpoint arc of season 3 of the Flash. So can't wait for that. Now, final thing I want to talk about: Lego Batman. Oh my God! When I saw that, like, if you have not seen the Lego movie, first of all, go see the Lego movie. It is brilliant. Second of all, if you've not seen the Lego movie, you will honestly be missing out, honestly, from all of the hilariousness of the Lego universe. And Lego Batman has brought that same sort of vibe from the Lego movie and planted it in the DC IP and just made it completely wonderful. And I sat there, I found myself laughing out loud to this trailer. Basically, it's your typical Batman adopts Dick Grayson, trains Dick Grayson up to be the new Robin. But it's kind of like Batman was just kind of hanging by himself, you know? He was kind of just sitting there and being a hermit, you know, staying up hours of the night. You know, basically Alfred cut off his computer privileges and forced him to actually try to have a bond with Dick Grayson. And that's where this movie goes. That's what this movie goes into. It's more or less about. It's kind of like less about Batman and more about his relationship with, you know, Robin as a whole. So I'm excited for that. I kind of like how they combined Dick Grayson with Carrie Kelly and just kind of like put that together. They brought back the classic Robin costume. You know, what I like to call the no pants version of Robin. So I thought that was an interesting design choice, but it made sense because this is supposed to be a lighter Batman film. So of course, why not go with a lighter, more comedic like Robin costume like we've been getting since his debut in the 1940s and the Batman show in the 1960s, etc. So there you have it. That's everything that I wish to discuss that was shown at Comic-Con. That's Marvel and DC related. I might make a separate video about Injustice 2 and my expectations for that because I'm a huge fan of Injustice, and as you guys already know by now, a huge fighting gamer. So inevitably, I'm going to have to touch on Injustice 2. But it won't be right now. It'll definitely be in a later video. So just keep your eyes out for that. And I guess that's it. I mean, let me know what you guys think about what you've seen from Comic-Con, especially on the Marvel and DC side. Let me know what you're hype about, what you're not hype about, you know, what you're concerned about with, you know, all the movies and TV shows and stuff like that. Just let me know what you think. I would love to get a discussion going about this kind of stuff because, hey, discussions about superheroes usually fun. So go ahead and, you know, give me what you got. Alright, so, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and as always, now that it's said my piece, peace.